Welcome to the deep dive. If you're looking to really get a grasp on dating and relationships, we've got kind of a unique source today.
We certainly do. It's called howtaught.tick.up.woman.pdf, and it dates back to the year 2000.
Yeah, so definitely not your modern dating blog post.
Not at all. Think of it more like a time capsule. Insider tips, tactics, very focused on seduction, charisma, attraction.
And it's supposedly based on, what, 2 years of research by these guys?
That's the claim. Observing millions of interactions, they say, and they make this bold statement that they've figured out what women really want.
Even if women don't consciously know it themselves, apparently.
Exactly. That's the angle.
Okay, so our mission here isn't necessarily to agree with everything, right? But to really dig in.
Yeah, to pull out the key ideas, the, actionable bits, maybe some stuff that seems kind of surprising now.
We want to understand what this guide was offering back then without getting totally bogged down in, like, Y2K jargon.
And the book itself lays out its structure pretty clearly. It says it focuses on three main things:
Which are?
charisma, seduction, and manipulation. Right there in chapter 1.
Gotcha. So those are our main pillars for this deep dive.
Seems like a good plan.
All right, let's jump into charisma then. Chapter 1. The core idea seems to be, it's not about finding Miss Right, but about being Mr. Right.
Precisely. Cultivating yourself into someone who naturally draws people in. It defines charisma as this personal attractiveness that gives you influence.
Okay, and they break it down.
They do, into the 7 elements of charisma.
7, okay.
Yeah. Presence, regal bearing, manner, finesse, enigma, diplomacy, and allure.
Wow, okay. Let's unpack those. Presence first.
Right. Presence is about commanding respectful attention, basically through your self-image.
Yeah.
Before you even say a word.
How you look, how you carry yourself.
Exactly. And they get specific. Dress fashionably. Well, for the year 2000 anyway. Think
Yeah.
GQ magazine styles back then.
Yeah.
Clean-cut hair, maybe clean-shaven if you're younger. Healthy complexion, maybe a slight tan, but not overdoing it.
Right.
Good posture, obviously. And using smiles, but strategically. Sincere ones.
It's not just superficial, though, is it? There's a mindset piece.
Definitely. They talk about tact and diplomacy being key, knowing when to speak, when not to speak, how to carry yourself with a certain assurance.
And eye contact.
Yeah, that's interesting. They suggest a kind of disinterested gaze.
Disinterested.
Yeah, like you shouldn't seem starstruck or overly impressed, projecting that you're sort of used to attention. Prestige, they call it.
Huh. So the idea is people prejudge based on past experiences if you look charismatic.
They'll tend to see you that way initially. Subconscious prejudgment, that's the term they use.
Okay, makes sense. Setting the stage. Next element, regal bearing. Sounds kind of related.
It is, very closely. It's specifically about your physical posture and your general conduct.
How you act in public.
Right. The core message is pretty blunt. Act like an important person to be treated like one. Carry yourself with poise.
Got it. Then manner.
Manner is about being thoughtful in your words and actions. Always thinking about how the other person might react or interpret things.
Like a constant internal check.
Pretty much. They suggest asking yourself questions before you speak. How will this sound? What effect will it have? Is that the effect I want? Do I sound smart or foolish? Confident or, cocky?
Sincere or fake?
Exactly. And crucially, will I seem like a good conversationalist?
Ah, so listening is part of manner, too.
Huge part. They stress that being a good listener is vital for maintaining that charismatic aura. Listen more than you talk, basically.
Okay. Next up is finesse.
Finesse. That's about refinement, delicacy, appearing suave, smooth.
How do you achieve that?
Specifics include never see me hurried, always patient, making your actions look natural, effortless. They actually say, practice being subtle.
Subtlety again. Seems important. Okay, now enigma. This sounds intriguing.
It really is. Enigma is about having actions or just a way about you that people can't easily figure out. Makes you stand out in a predictable world.
And that's attractive.
According to the book, yes. It sparks interpretation, imagination. People start believing there's some kind of concealed excitement about you. It connects to this idea they mentioned later, women being drawn to the rare guy who seems used to being pursued.
How do you cultivate enigma?
They call it mystery in the making. Don't reveal all your plans. Be purposely a bit vague sometimes. Subtly unpredictable.
Examples.
Little things like varying your drink order, the clubs you go to, even your appearance slightly, or when you call someone back, or if you're always exactly on time or sometimes a little late.
Interesting. And saying less.
Yeah, that's a big one. Minimal words. Get her to volunteer information. Appear kind of casually uninterested unless she's actively trying to impress you. They literally say, make her sell herself.
Wow. Okay.
So enigma boosts your presence, creates anticipation. And they point out it's used in charisma, seduction, and manipulation.
Right, that connection again. Okay, diplomacy.
Diplomacy is tact, skill in dealing with people, adapting to their level. They're careful to say it's like acting, not necessarily lying.
And they call it the secret to highly effective social skills.
They do. The practical advice includes, never joke about someone's appearance or taste. Give sincere compliments, but focus on something specific that stands out. Be self-observant. Maybe subtly mirror their words or actions. Practice modesty. Master your emotions like an actor.
Control is a theme.
Big time. Be sensitive to what's really being said beneath the surface, and subtly make people feel good about themselves. Again, connects to enigma, they feel good around you, but might not know exactly why.
Gotcha. Last one, allure.
Allure is presented as the essence, the infectious aura of charisma. Draws people in.
Is it something you do?
Not directly. The book says it's the result of the other elements working together, especially diplomacy making people feel good, which can lead to a sort of dependence and enigma, creating that wonder.
And they connect it to manipulation again?
Explicitly, they say con artists are masters of manipulation, often because they have this strong charisma, this allure. It appeals to that basic desire we all have to be appreciated, respected, liked.
And how do you maintain it?
Keep up the enigma. Maintain a little distance. Don't become predictable.
Okay, that's a pretty thorough breakdown of charisma according to this 2000s guide. Lots to think about there.
It really lays a foundation.
Now let's shift gears. Chapter 2, Mindset of a True Player. And the book itself flags the influence of like late 90s, early 2000s hip-hop culture here.
But yeah, it absolutely does. This chapter really reflects a specific cultural moment and attitude. The main idea seems to be about building confidence by shifting your mindset away from fearing rejection.
How?
By adopting a more detached, almost objectifying view. The book actually uses the phrase, bitches ain't shit, as a player's rule.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
The stated goal is building self-belief, the idea you can attract women. It's important to stress we're just reporting what's in the text here, analyzing it in context.
Absolutely. It sounds like a kind of psychological defense mechanism, maybe.
It could be interpreted that way, building confidence by lowering the stakes, perhaps.
So confidence is key. Confidence is the cream, is the heading.
Right. And strong eye contact is highlighted as crucial for sparking a sexual sensation and showing power.
And players rule #2.
Is quite intense. If you stare long enough, you'll see right through her.
Yikes.
Then they say nod and smile after the eye contact. Act like your approach is totally expected.
Okay. Then secrets of the game. Making a good first impression.
Yeah, using clear, confident, pretty simple opening lines, often compliments. Players rule #3 is about quickly sorting women into game or not game.
Weeding them out, basically.
That's the phrase. And rule #4 deals with rejection. 10 will get you 2, just a numbers game.
So don't take it personally.
Exactly. And mix up your lines, your lyrics, develop your own style.
What about conversation in this game?
Guidelines are, let her talk more, focus on key words she uses, keep her eyes locked on yours, take the lead physically, with drinks shows confidence. Gather info, phone number, workplace. They suggest this helps gauge personality, slotting them into easy or not so easy.
And getting the number.
Then you delay calling. The fear of loss tactic. Avoid looking too keen.
Right.
And maybe even use playful deception on the phone or pagers.
Yeah.
Like asking for the wrong woman initially.
Man, feels like a different era. Okay. It gets darker, though. Down and dirty when all else fails.
It does. This section introduces scams as part of the game if other methods aren't working. Players rule #5. Fake it till you make it.
Example.
The assistant movie producer scam is one they give.
Seriously.
Seriously. And rule #6 is roll with the punches. If you get caught in your lie, use flattery to smooth it over. They even mention tag team scams with friends, like pretending to be journalists.
This is definitely leaning heavily into the manipulation side of things. Very different from the charisma chapter.
There's a stark contrast, yeah. Very transactional view.
Okay, what's the new jab hustler section?
Rule #7. Get in and get out. Quick interactions just to get contact info.
Like that Mikey anecdote.
Exactly. Girl's date steps away, Mikey swoops in, gets the number. Gone.
And rule #8. Some do taste better with age.
That's about targeting older women. Compliments about maturity, suggesting future availability, playfully dismissing age concerns. even faking shyness.
Faking shyness as a tactic with older women. Okay.
Then there are case studies. Rule #9. Never show your true colors.
Meaning?
Don't seem too much like a player, especially with women they call fine women, might clash with their egos.
So be confident but subtle.
Yeah, the smiling mofucker tactic. Look confident, maybe a bit detached. Focus on your friends first.
And they contrast approaches.
Yeah, a hypothetical Brad Pitt, too overtly confident, gets rejected. Versus Jim, subtle manipulation creates product demand. Really sums up the chapter's vibe.
Strategic, manipulative.
And the final word just hammers it home. Being a player is about confidence. And this cynical idea that they're all the same, meaning women play games too.
And the player humor example.
Posing as a taxi coordinator at closing time to chat people up.
Okay, so that's the player chapter. Definitely a specific, aggressive perspective.
Very much of its time and place, it seems.
Let's move to chapter 3, navigating scandalous women. How are they defined?
As women with this inner need to be wanted by everyone, but possessed by no one, they enjoy the thrill of cutting down confident men.
Sounds challenging.
The chapter contrasts them with smooth players who just want sex. These women, it says, want attention, the chase.
Do they know they're doing it?
The book suggests, maybe not always consciously, could be driven by their own emotional processes, but they create this illusion of being the one, which triggers the male instinct to pursue.
Okay, so how do you deal with them? The advice starts with, they're all the same, master the unexpected.
Right. The idea is their actions are driven by mood swings, not always logic.
Yeah.
So to intrigue them, be mysterious.
Yeah.
Seem like a challenge. Appear innocent, at least initially.
Predictability is bad.
Kills their interest, according to this.
Then mirror your enemies, master the unexpected. Sounds intense.
It is. Strategy is key. Especially don't develop feelings early on. She needs to develop them first.
What are the options?
Avoid them. Expect nothing more than the scandalous behavior, or teach her a lesson.
Okay, let's focus on that third one. How?
Using principles from the 48 Laws of Power. Seduction over coercion. Mirroring her tactics. Understand her psychology, the desire to be pursued, maybe inflated self-importance.
So control your own instinct to chase.
Exactly. Act laid back, almost professional. Play hard to get. Minimal affection, minimal flirting, brief talks. Create mystery, challenge. The seducer's mirror concept.
Taking them for granted makes them more interested. Seems counterintuitive.
That's the paradoxical claim, yes.
Yeah.
And definitely don't bring up feelings. If she does, change the subject. Back off. Make her come to you. That's the core strategy.
Right, and the end of the chapter, she can't play a player.
This suggests faking shyness as an offensive weapon.
Faking shyness, again.
Yeah. To seem innocent, give her a sense of power. Then, even after intimacy, stay innocent, unattached. The goal is to make yourself inexplicable, innocent yet untouchable.
Creating obsession, almost.
That seems to be the implication. A mind game to keep her constantly questioning your motives.
Wow. Okay, definitely complex psychological tactics there. Almost adversarial.
It presents a very specific dynamic, yes.
Let's move to chapter 4. Playing to a woman's ego. Starts with a societal observation.
Yeah, about women's changing roles. Seeing men more as competitors, not just providers, protectors, due to increasing female independence, economics, social, sexual.
And the prediction that women might become the dominant sex.
That's the provocative idea floated. So the argument follows. To attract women with this kind of superior ego or attitude.
You have to play to that ego.
Exactly. Trick them into not seeing you as a competitor.
How? What's the technique?
Make her think that you think that she's the shit. That's the quote.
Okay.
So play dumb about your own stuff. Be the devoted fan. Never try to outshine her. Never reveal your own ego. The Joey from Friends approach, they call it.
Like affable and non-threatening.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And interestingly, they say don't play hard to get initially with this type. Might insult their pride.
Save it for later, maybe.
Yeah, if interest wanes. The whole seducer's game here is mirroring her high self-perception back at her. Focus only on her. Make her feel like you exist for her.
And that level of devotion works.
Can be surprisingly appealing to a strong ego, the book argues. The power of that idealized reflection. They even mention Casanova's intense focus.
So a total contrast to the scandalous women strategy. All deference here.
Completely different approach for a different perceived type.
Okay. Chapter 5. Engaging nice girls. How are they described?
Often shy. Maybe put up walls against guys who seem too forward or just after sex. So you need a more finessed approach. A psychological backdoor.
Sounds delicate. And there's a process.
A structured 3-meeting process.
Okay. Meeting 1.
Exercise self-control. Be professional, non-sexual. Don't spend too much time. And crucially, don't ask for the number unless she offers. Remember her name and one thing about her.
Meeting 2.
Remembering her name gets you bonus points. Still professional, but talk a bit longer. Give a bit more attention. Let her do most of the talking. Still too early for the number.
Meeting 3.
Marks a shift. Maybe a surprise, friendly, professional hug. Know her name, remember the last chat. Compliment her casually, like an old friend. Not seductive.
And the key sign.
She returns the compliment. They say, "You're in."
What's the overall goal here?
To bring out her untapped sexual side by showing interest in her as a person. Patience is key. Breaking down walls gradually.
And asking for a date.
Suggest a phone call first. Watch her body language. If she seems interested, then ask for the number. If not, don't push.
And seduction with nice girls. Is it different?
A bit of push-pull, actually. Act interested, then maybe slightly disinterested, throwing them off the scent. Creates that mystery and challenge again. Similar to playing hard to get, but maybe more subtle.
So a more patient, seemingly considerate approach overall, recognizing different styles.
Seems that way, yes.
Yeah.
Build trust first.
Right. Chapter 6, The Art of Seduction in the Year 2000, starts with an overlooked step.
Yeah, stepping back and surveying the situation first. Taking it all in, aiming for control.
Control again.
Big theme. The main argument is that seduction often fails by being too aggressive. So the first move should actually be a retreat.
A retreat, how does that work?
Draws her in, supposedly. Triggers that animal instinct to chase. Before her logic and defenses kick back in, it's an approach-retreat cycle, gradually increasing psychological involvement.
Why does retreat work?
Connects to human instinct. We look for patterns, try to predict things. Mystery disrupts that. Creates a loss of control, which triggers a subconscious need to understand, regain control by pursuing you.
So showing interest, then pulling back, baits her into chasing.
That's the idea. Manipulating her perception so you become the challenge.
It's framed as a mind game.
Explicitly. Making her think about you, wanting to predict your moves, if done right, could lead to love. But too far might lead to obsession, they warn.
And the ultimate goal for the seducer.
Gaining control. Never being led on or played hard to get again because you understand the tactics and can turn the tables. Awaken her basic instincts to guide her emotions.
Very strategic, psychological view of seduction. Okay, chapter 7. Mastering conversation dynamics. Obviously important.
Crucial, they say. Starts with instant eye attraction.
More eye stuff.
Yeah, but focused on how eyes reflect mood. And mood is infectious. They suggest practicing emotions in the mirror.
Seriously. Anger, sadness.
Yep. And using a poker face, not blank, but masking true feelings with a desired one. Like confidence over nervousness.
What should the eyes convey?
Tantalize, tease, be playful, flirt, entice, charm. Playful eyes are key. Suggest fun, confidence, ease around women, past success.
Creates attraction. Okay, what about the secret of small talk?
After the opening, listen. Show you care, pick up keywords, sprinkle in bits about yourself, but not too much.
And planting seeds of attraction.
Subtly relate to something she says, "Oh, me too." They quickly return the focus to her. Creates intrigue about your level of interest.
What kills small talk?
Expressing sexual interest too soon. The third degree. Too many questions. Revealing too much about yourself looks like bragging, or leaves no mystery.
Appearing cocky or macho.
Or too nice even. Big killers. The goal is to tear down her walls by seeming innocent initially. No immediate thoughts of sex.
Empathic listening.
Yeah, listen attentively without jumping in. It's emotionally seductive, they claim. But no strict rules, just points to follow. Needs practice. Don't overthink it.
And it loops back to that prejudgment idea.
Exactly. Flirting gives the impression you're used to it, creates demand, intrigue, because you've already been prejudged as someone who flirts.
Interesting connection. Okay, chapter 8, Rico Suave, part 1, deals with jealousy first.
Yeah. Are you the jealous type? Big warning. Jealousy gets you dumped fast. Sign of insecurity, lack of confidence.
Loses respect.
Totally. It's your problem, not hers. The solution. Act confident. Give her freedom. Welcome situations that might cause jealousy as chances to show you're secure.
Okay. Then, conversing for maximum effect.
Says most men just flail blindly. Need a plan. Don't talk too much. She might just be polite. Key is listening for seeds.
Seeds again. Hints of what she wants to talk about.
Right. And capitalize on them with follow-up questions. If she likes you, she'll give you info freely.
But you need to talk about yourself, too.
You do. Make me too statements. Highlight similarities. Good ratio. 30–40% talking about similarities. 60–70% listening.
Why is similarity important?
Creates attraction, validation. Focus on that early on. Not saying enough leaves her nothing to think about later.
Got it. Manage emotions, listen strategically, build connection through similarity. Now, Chapter 9, Regal Suave, Part 2, first point. Making her salivate for you. Sounds Pavlovian.
It is. Uses classical conditioning. Associate yourself with her good moods. Dissociate from bad moods.
No.
Avoid her when she's feeling negative. Don't get paired with bad feelings. Maximize time together when she's happy. Strengthen positive links. If you can't be there, get her thinking of you positively somehow.
Don't try to fix her bad mood.
Generally, no, unless maybe you're in a committed relationship and it's serious. And never deliver bad news. Don't be the bad news guy.
Okay. And the very last point of the whole guide, your magic wand.
It's the power of a genuine smile.
Simple, but powerful.
Makes you charming, irresistible, they say. Signals positivity, confidence, enjoying life, attraction. Makes you look more physically attractive too. Counters the tough guy thing. Smiling just leads to better outcomes.
Ends on a surprisingly simple note.
It does. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into this unique 2000 artifact.
Right. So, quick recap. We covered charisma built on those 7 elements, the kind of controversial player mindset focused on confidence and strategy.
Sometimes quite manipulative strategy.
True. Then navigating different types, scandalous women, those with high egos, nice girls, each needing a different approach.
The power of playing to ego, the patience needed sometimes, the strategic nature of seduction itself.
And underlying it all, conversation skills, managing emotions like jealousy, and using positive association, even just a smile.
It's definitely a snapshot from a specific time, offering insights into how dating and attraction were being framed, at least in some circles back then.
Absolutely. It's crucial to see it within that Y2K context.
For sure.
So, a final thought for you, our listener. Which of these ideas, if any, still resonate? Do you see echoes of them today, or does it feel completely alien? How has the landscape of attraction and relationships shifted since 2000?
Yeah, how might these tactics land now? Definitely something to think about as we all try to figure out connection in today's world.